magazine. Also known as Wednesday 13. Welcome to Brutal Planet Magazine.
Welcome to Brutal Planet Magazine.
This is all comfortable, but yo, welcome to Brutal Planet Magazine.
You're listening to Brutal Planet.
Hey, what's up, everybody? CJ Pierce here from Drowning Pool, and you're listening to Brutal Planet Media right here. Get yourself.
Hey, I'm Steve from Within the Ruins, and this is Brutal Planet.
Greetings, Brutal Planet. We are live tonight with friends of the show, October Noir. How you guys doing?
Good, man. Waiting on Myke. Yeah, I figured he'd be on by now, but
Yeah, the other day I started out with this total DJ voice. I was just like, coming at you live. It's Joey and Dustin on Brutal Planet. Yeah.
you should stick to that.
Joey's like, yo, man, I don't know if you should be a drive time DJ.
Oh no, you should. That was perfect.
I used to be a strip club DJ. Fun fact.
I used to be a stripper. Fun fact.
We might have run into each other.
See, did you play that song, I'm Every Woman?
We got Donald Trump.
Donald Trump. Listen, this is gonna be.
What's up, fuckers?
Come grab me by the pussy.
We're gonna make
Hello,
some real news.
Hello, gentlemen. How are you?
Grab me by the pussy. I love it.
Grab
How are
me
you,
by the
Myke?
pussy. Hello, you are Dustin.
Yes,
Hello, Dustin. Nice to make your acquaintance.
you as well.
Thank you.
So how do we what's the story behind this new track that you guys put together? How did this all come about?
You asking me?
Whoever wants to answer.
All right, Tom, I'm going to take this one first. Tom and I were in a side project. That's how I met Tom. It was called Momento Morte. And we did a few songs. In a nutshell, we had a track that we did, which we really, both of us really liked a lot. And so I wrote the lyrics for it. Obviously, Tom re-recorded it, and presto, that's kind of where it came from. But in all fairness, I mean, the song, we kind of put the song together ourselves once I put the lyrics to it, and it was kind of redone. The original name for it was called Between Us, which is also part of the chorus line. But then I changed the name to The Ages, and hence, here we are. By the way, I just want to say hi, Doug. How are you, buddy? Sorry.
What's up, Myke? Good to see you.
Good to see you, buddy.
That's actually a good call out. Doug, you've never been on before, so also good to meet you, man.
Good to meet you too.
Tom, what do you have to say about the writing process for the song? Is there like a theme that you guys stuck with? Is it based on anything specific, or did you guys work together on the lyrics? Like what's kind of the, I guess the overall like theme of the song, or the
Myke.
I don't want to ask for the meaning, but
Myke took control of all the lyrics, which I was happy for. The great thing about this is I didn't have to really write it. All I had to do was just come in and fucking play it. So it made the process a lot faster for me. But yeah, we kind of stuck to the roots of what we were kind of handed when Myke and I were in that project, for what the song was, and the re-recording process and sitting down with it. I tried to retain the keyboards as close as they were to the original. I don't think they're exact, but they're close enough.
well, it works. Should we play the song?
Yeah,
I've had it. You guys want to do a commentary track for the video?
yeah, we could do that. this would be good, Myke. This is my favorite part because Trey's not actually playing anything on guitar. Hey, Myke, if you notice in the opening of this video, your hat's on.
Yes, and then it's off.
And then it's off.
There it goes. It's on. And now it's off.
Yeah.
You can get rid of it.
And now it's going to go back on again.
So this is actually really cool because we're actually performing this song live at Rockport Festival in Jersey.
Very epic.
And Mike, what you didn't realize is that we were playing at about a 15% increase tempo.
That's
live.
I had no idea.
Yep.
I'm just a singer, man.
Video, we had to scale it back.
You guys are playing it faster live, is what you're saying?
Yeah. Yeah, we normally try and do that with most songs just to give more energy to the tracks.
I can turn the volume of the video down a little bit so we can.
Yeah.
Where did you guys record this at? Video.
This is all cell phone video from people that were there attending, and I just had them email it to me. Yeah,
Did you cut it together, Tom?
Yeah, I didn't know how it was going to turn out. I was like scared. I was like, oh man, we're going to get really shitty video.
It looks great, man.
Yeah,
He did
I was very happy.
job. He did a very good job. Tom's really good at doing video, as well as mixing and production, as well as Doug. All of them. They're very talented at what they do. But the videos blow me away.
Yeah, Tom, you got the DIY ethics.
Yeah, you have
I'm with you
to.
on that, man.
Otherwise, we'd
Save money.
be broke.
That's true.
We get Tyler in a hat like that.
What's that?
So we need to get Tyler in a hat like that.
Oh, we told him.
He'd look good like that with a hat.
Totally. That's his vibe, I think.
Very much. We got the cowboy. We need to turn Trey into like the gothic Barbie.
What does that even look like?
So it looks like Trey, but with a lot less clothes.
Is he gonna
You
have to dye
put him in
his
the
hair
pit
back
top.
though? Like,
Get him one of those like metal chick bikinis.
Change his name to Tiffany and move out to LA.
dress him up like the chick from Spirit Box.
So interesting note, my sustainer wasn't actually working that night.
Oh, no wonder you sounded like shit.
It killed my whole performance.
There's a shot of Eric in the crowd. He actually had a lot of footage that was put into this.
I love that little extra added set of lyrics that you put in, Tom. Oh,
Yeah, I was happy with it.
Of course,
Because, yeah, initially I was singing along with you, and I was like, it kind of takes away from everything.
I think it's because we're on two different octaves. It's a little bit different,
call and response, and then you guys come together at the end.
Yeah, because Mike, I remember you
last word
mentioning to try and add more throughout the song, and I was like, nah, I don't want it to take away from you, so look, I'll just keep it just very short and sweet at the end. Dude, I will say that fucking crowd was massive that night. It was packed in there. It was hot as fuck.
It was a great turnout for you guys. I was so happy for you, really.
Well, they definitely loved the song too.
Yeah, they loved the band. They loved all your songs.
Yeah, I
I
was
was very happy for you guys. You had a
thank you,
good
man.
turnout.
Fantastic video, man.
Appreciate it.
He did great, didn't he?
You don't need much if it's cut together from cell phone. That's an inspirational tale, my friend.
Yeah, there's a little bit you have to do to kind of manipulate the imaging to make it look better, because you do have substantial quality loss. You do really get better results, especially in darker areas when you're using the cameras that have a better lens, or the sensor technology is more for the light drink up or whatever. But it came out very well on the cell phones. I was very surprised.
A lot of the newer phones, man, the quality of those cameras too, it's gotten so good. It's like they're high def cameras.
Yeah, you have to be careful because low light's an issue.
If I may, gentlemen, I am a professional photographer.
Oh, here he goes.
And I have to say, yes, they are good cameras. However, compared to the cameras that I use, I can take my pictures and turn them into a billboard. You can't do that with a cell phone.
Correct.
Yeah,
It's a difference. I mean, they shoot great. Don't get me wrong. The quality is great, but the how would I say, I guess the megapixels are condensed to a smaller size as opposed to like my camera, which is like a professional camera. I can blow
they're
mine
creating.
Yep.
Sorry.
up. No, go ahead.
They're creating a lot of software solutions for stuff like that lately. Have you ever heard of a company called Topaz Labs?
Me,
Like
no.
AI upscaling.
Oh, well, then if you say AI, forget it. That's going to put me out of a job eventually.
Gonna put us all out of a goddamn job at this point.
No, it's just gonna make it
is.
so we can all hang out and party and drink and together and
Oh, good.
let the
Yeah, with
robots-
what money? We're not gonna have a fucking job.
I just watched The Matrix again, the first one. And, what I never really noticed was that how they talked about AI for that movie. So now I've got like right in the beginning, and that was 24 years ago when that movie came out, maybe 25. But the point of the matter is, I'm scared shitless of AI. I mean, I've seen the Terminator and I've seen like the Matrix, and I do not want AI in my life. I refuse. It's hard enough to get me online to do a fucking interview, let alone deal with AI in any of these programs. I'm serious.
Yeah,
I
I'm not a fan.
very little time on the internet because I just can't stand it.
Yeah.
My thing with AI, right, is I'm like, okay, say AI gets out of control and becomes sentient or whatever, just unplug it. Like what? Like it's us, right? Like it's our shit. Like
What about if it's Tesla?
So they say.
Because it's basically just a. But just a quick sidebar, Mike, you'll appreciate this. The guys who, not me, but the other guys who started Brutal Planet are all photographers, and they came together through bird watching, like bird photography.
I'm a bird watcher. How
shit.
freaking weird.
All you fucking photographers are the same.
That's what I love to do.
Yeah, but Eric and Joey, Eric, my cousin, who I co-founded Brutal Planet with, he's like a huge animal guy. His story is so nuts. Like he loved metal, so he had pet snakes as a kid, and turned that into a job working at the zoo in the reptile cage.
That's awesome.
And then worked with like elephants and shit. But anyway. Long story short, Joey and Eric, both the other guys who do this, are like really talented photographers, especially for like dark, like venue type shit. Like they're really good at taking band photos.
Yeah, I've been doing photography. In fact, I've been doing photography since I was about 18. My father was a pro. And I got my first camera at age, I think it was 19. But prior to that, I was developing film at age 11, at age 11. By the time I was 13, I was going with him, like, as he would shoot the weddings, I'd load the medium format cameras and so forth.
Mike, I got a question for you on that.
Yes, sir.
Are you familiar with the black bag?
Is that a sexual question? I'm not sure.
It will be.
What about it?
So,
Could be a boxing thing too.
I was probably 15 years old. I worked on an independent film set and had R.G. Armstrong, which was he was in a lot of the John Wayne westerns and Predator, at the opening scene of Predator with Arnold Schwarzenegger. But anyways, so they were doing this independent horror film, but I was part of the crew. So I was, learning all I could, but they had this thing called the black bag, and it's this fucking literal bag with 2 sleeves, and your film rolls and your cans or whatever, you had to put it inside this bag to prevent exposure, and then put your hands in the sleeve, and you had to roll it after each tape was done. And if it popped loose on you, it fucking, you're fucked.
I know what you're talking about. I never had to use one of those, only because when I did my work in the darkroom, I was working with usually like 35 millimeter or 4x4 negatives. For like medium format film. But no, I do know what you're talking about. It's been many, many years since I've heard that term.
Yeah. That's
I just heard so many sexual innuendos in that conversation. Playing with cans in a dark room.
Don't turn your lights out, Dustin. I'm
I
right
love
around
a
the
dark
corner.
room. You never
There's
know
a
what's going to
reason.
happen in a dark
They
room.
call me Peeping Tom.
I thought you were the pussy grabber. What the hell?
No, I wanted my
That's
pussy
me.
grabbed by Donald Trump.
That's me.
Oh, that's right. So are you a fan of Donald Trump or not a fan of Donald Trump, or
I refuse to answer that question under the
Okay.
premises that I might not have any more fans left.
Yeah, I understand. I understand. Some people I like to go down that road with because I'm one of those people who I definitely have a different view of Trump than I did when he ran several years ago.
A positive or a negative view?
It's improved, mostly because all of the people I despise in the political conversation universally hate him.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, oh, okay, he must be doing something right. Like
He sure is. That's why the left can't stand him. It's particularly, you see, if I may, and I don't want to get into politics too much, but there's got to be something. Let me rephrase it. There is something that is happening that has made the left go absolutely bonkers. First and foremost, you must realize that the left-wing politicians are deathly afraid of him.
Mm-hmm.
They're shitting their pants because even though this guy's a billionaire, he tends to understand the working man like you and me and all these guys here. And what the politicians on the left tend to do is they love to drum up drama. And there's no doubt in my mind that I've seen, like, with all the whole BLM bullshit that went on, the Marxist revolution, they fooled everybody. Had nothing to do with black people. Really didn't. Because there are black people that are shot in Chicago every fucking weekend.
Yep.
50, 100 people sometimes get shot in Chicago. Black youth. Do you hear about their names? No. You only hear about it when it's the cops who shoot an unarmed or a criminal black man who they say, put your gun down, don't reach in your pocket, and they keep doing it, and bang, they get shot.
Well, and then also when someone gets shot at the January 6th protest by a cop,
right,
like people on the other side of the political spectrum,
well,
cheer
of course,
that. They're like, oh yeah, get her, fucking kill her, like like cops should be judge, jury, and executioner in that situation.
Of
because
course they should.
But I will say, I'll just add this about Trump. This is the one thing I think about him that I think a lot of people on the left or like Democrats don't understand is that he's not part of the anointed political class.
No, he's not. That's why they hate him.
Yeah, that's what I like about him, because it's like, even if I don't agree with all his politics or whatever, I can see that like all the people who have spent years in Washington, D.C. sucking dicks, with companies and stuff, like whether they're Democrats or Republicans, don't like him. And to me, I'm like, okay.
And again, as I was going to say, the reason they don't like him is because when he comes into office, he has exposed the left and the right for what they are: corrupt. This is a man who came from the outside, and that's why they're so frightened of him. And if I just may finish my whole point with what I was saying, the left loves to drum people up to protest level and get them all excited, right? And now you've all got all these people who are marching in the street, whether they're woke or they're transgender or gay or whoever to know, whatever the fuck sexuality they have, they're all rising up and they're letting them. Instead of putting a cap on things, the 1% of people out there that are part of the gay, and let me be perfectly clear, I got nothing against gay people at all. When you start hacking body parts off, though, then I got a problem. Then I think that's a bit of a up here. But ultimately, that's why they hate this man, because they have an agenda. Ever since Obama took office, I'm not going to get into politics too much, but I got to get this out. When Obama took office,
to talk about politics.
I would love to talk, but I don't want to ruin October Noir's This
Oh
is very,
God, please!
You're included, man. We're all
We
in
did
this.
like a 2-hour stream on Rumble where we talked
Yeah.
shit for like everything, you name it. I was showing clips of how January 6th is like an op with cops involved and shit.
yeah, FBI was involved in it.
Of course.
There's footage.
Same with the BLM shit, though.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course. It's an
See-
ideology. It has nothing to do with the people.
The
And the
only-
good thing about this is that the people are starting to realize how fucking corrupt the
Yes.
left has become.
Yes. Well, here's the only area I disagree with you. I don't think the terms left and right are relevant because
To an
the
extent,
Democrats
to an
of today are not left. Like Joe
No.
Biden is like, he's like, look at what he's doing. He's started multiple wars. He's
an idiot.
censoring. He's fucking terrible. He's always
He's-
been
he's-
that way. Like he
right.
voted for the Iraq war, all that shit.
Right.
But
And,
I
and he's
agree
a racist too, but they make
Completely.
no fucking big deal about that.
Exactly. Yeah, it's hypocritical. It's like all the stuff that you're supposed to be mad at Trump for, Joe Biden can do fine. Like he has
Listen,
multiple
man,
sexual assault accusations against
For
him.
every
He's
accusation the left has put on Trump, they themselves are guilty of.
Of course.
Every single one
Bill
of them.
Clinton. Holy shit. Like, you know, it's like,
All right, I'm going to shut up now.
yeah. No, you,
I
think-
you
I
got
think-
his passion rolling.
This is what I love about the current state of things, though, is I think like despite the like left-right framing of everything, most people I talk to are on the same page of you. I've talked to trans people in Los Angeles that sound like you. You know what I mean? That
Maybe.
like when
Because
I talk
everybody's
about
fucking fed up.
they're
with
like
these assholes.
fucking I get Genocide Joe has to go or shit like that. You know, like everyone
I call him- I
is
call him
waking up to the
President
fact that
Corpse.
we're all being fucking manipulated on a massive
right.
level.
That's right, we are. And yet they are continually, excuse me, can you get the hell out of my way? They are continually pushing this agenda on how everything should be electric, no more oil, no more gas. They want to go. And the fact that they're that first, and my biggest question has always been, how can you let a proclaimed Marxist or communist into the American government? You've got, what's his name? The Jewish guy, Bernie Sanders. Bernie is a certified communist. And then you've got people like AOC, who's a socialist. And you got that other Ilhan.
More.
Yeah.
I don't think the people even know what those words mean.
Well,
America.
you see, that's the thing. As I got old, I
Because
used
Bernie
to be
Sanders is as much a
listen.
communist as Ronald Reagan is.
Listen, Dustin, for almost 30 years, I was a politically correct liberal Democrat
Oh yeah.
until Obama took office. And then I realized when I started comparing what he was saying to what the right was saying, I immediately saw that there was something wrong. Oh, you got me all riled up, man. Let's talk about music.
The
Let's
thing that's
talk about-
crazy about the Obama years in retrospect is that he did continued Bush and Cheney's foreign policy and everything else under the while we were all patting ourselves on the back about
Right.
how we have a
And what
black
else did they
president
do? They were sitting there saying, we got to close the border. We got to close the border. Then Trump says it. And now he says they're against. So everything he says they're against.
Well, if you
That's
remember
how it
too, like
works,
even
too.
Obama had the people in cages and they took pictures of it and they tried to say, oh, Trump's put people in cages. And I was like, oh, those pictures are from the Obama era. And then
Yeah, I
It's an
remember-
they actually
ideology,
reported on
Tom.
that.
It's an
See,
ideology.
That's right.
And that's the reason I value like evidence. Like, okay, show me the fucking evidence. Like Obama deported
showing it.
more people than any president in history. If you look
That's
up
right.
that stat. And so like people like freaking out about, here's the other thing about the immigration stuff that's crazy. I was reading this thing recently about like they want that they use prison labor. So they want those fucking people for cheap labor. If you started going after the companies that were hiring immigrants and really cracking down on like the Walmarts and the fucking Tyson chickens of the world for like illegal labor practices, that problem would stop. Those people want this to continue because it's cheap labor. And if they protest low wages or some shit, they can just throw them out of the country. They're like, oh, you're illegal. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
There's no unions or anything
Locks
like
them in.
that. Yeah. So anyway, sorry, guys.
You
Sorry,
eliminate the prison industrial complex, you get rid of Starbucks.
Yeah.
Liberals hate that.
Victoria's Secret
$20
fucking-
coffee.
Can't get rid of my fucking Starbucks. I'll kill all of you.
And this right here, I think, is what I love because like left and right are meaningless because I talk to people that consider themselves on the right and I've like fucking agree with 90% of everything they say, and I consider myself on the left. So,
Oh, are
Well,
you?
you know,
Oh,
that
I hope I didn't
definition has
insult you.
been.
what's that?
I hope I
No,
didn't
you don't
insult
insult me. I mean, dude, I think the modern left is a caricature of what the like to me being left means like freedom of speech. Like a good example is COVID, right? I'll give you a great example. Like my body, my choice, right? Like if you're for, like I'm for a woman's right to choose. Like it's none of my business. Like if she's gonna fucking abort a baby, that she's the one who has to live with the fucking
psychologically. And
yeah.
everything,
But then all of a sudden with COVID, it's like no vaccine.
Wear a
Like
mask.
you're yeah, not your body, your choice.
Nope.
Like it's like not in
Nope.
that case. And I'm like, wait a minute,
I regret to this day having gotten that shot. Did any of you guys get the shot?
I did.
Good
I
for
got
you. Good for you, Doug.
I
Did you?
regret it too. I totally
Yeah, I had to get it for work.
Yeah.
same.
I would have told him to fire me.
Let me
fact-
tell you, man. I commend you guys who did not get it. I
too.
got it. I got it.
1,000% with you on that.
Never get it again. Never.
It's man, that whole the one I got pulled off the market for causing blood clots. Like right at the
I
Johnson.
know a guy who had his fucking leg amputated because of that shit.
It's fucking crazy.
Yep.
Man. Well, we could go down this wormhole for years, but
Let's talk about music.
yeah, what like Mike?
So have you heard
a
a
long
new
history,
song
man. You
called
played with
Donald
Misfits
Trump?
for a while, right? Wait, what'd you say, Tom?
Yes, I've heard that song, Tom.
We call it "Grab Him by the Pussy."
I wrote that.
Pussy Grabbing Incorporated. Yeah, it is wild to watch all the people who fucking defended Bill Clinton
Oh, here we
be
go
mad
again.
that Donald Trump like had sex with Stormy Daniels. It's like
You know what,
Yeah.
Dustin? I gotta say, you just mentioned that, but yet they all sat and bitched and complained and moaned about, oh, he tweets these evil things. Oh, like the left never used the word pussy or cunt or fuck or anything like that.
Everybody uses it,
Yeah,
man.
and all of a sudden, just because he wasn't a politician at the time and had nothing to do with politics, he's talking locker room talk like every guy does.
Well, let me tell you something too. Anybody
exactly.
with money, they're gonna have women surrounding them, and those women are gonna
That's
do
right.
a lot of great things to get a part of that money.
yeah.
So don't sit here and tell me that this man's fucking blah 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 because of
Did
this or
you
that with
see
a woman.
like all the shit that's going on? This is my low-key conspiracy theory for entertainment purposes only, YouTube. All the stuff that's going on in the world right now, a low-key headline that everyone missed. Did you see Harvey Weinstein got basically acquitted and got his like charges reversed? And shit?
No.
Yes.
How the hell did that happen?
Like he's like basically free now.
Yep.
Well, shit, they made a
And
deal.
no one noticed.
Hey, babe, you want to be famous?
Yeah.
Let
No,
me lift my
that's-
belly.
That's exactly what made me think of that. That like it's like an unspoken secret in Hollywood that like producers there were like
and
guys
people-
who had like secret like rooms in their offices where they could bang actresses to give them the part.
Yeah, dude. This happens more often than people even realize and
Oh,
know.
yeah.
What there
It's
was
how-
so much going on behind the scenes. If they'd have a fucking stroke.
It's been
Did you ever
going on
watch,
for years?
Mad Men.
I don't think so.
I know what you're talking about. I never watched it though.
It's pretty interesting because it's like takes place during the 60s and it's like during the era when dudes like could slap their secretary on the ass and call her sugar tits and all that stuff.
Good old days.
And it was like totally cool. Yeah, and you wouldn't get sued for it. So
It's
it's
like Bill
In fact, you
Bill
get a
Murray, man.
promotion.
we've come a long way, is my point. Like, we've come a long way.
Bill Burr was talking about John Wayne, and he just not John Wayne, but fucking what's the other guy? Sean Connery. He's talking about you just back then you could give him a little slap. So it's a very, very funny stand-up segment he does.
I've seen that.
Yeah,
My
that's how
cousin
the days were.
my cousin made a great point. He's like, man, 1,000 years ago, we used to club these broads over the head and drag them back to our cave. Like,
Literally,
please don't shut my stream off, YouTube.
The good old days when they didn't vote or drive.
We've come a long way, and I know girls who would love that. By the way, so
well,
It's just a matter of preference, really. It's
Right.
really just a matter of preference because I think a lot of the women nowadays, you could pick a woke girl out of the crowd immediately. Green hair, blue hair, red.
they have a
hair.
mask on. Let's face it.
Pretty much, yeah. But there was a time when I was doing the club circuit and playing in the band, blue hair, green hair, and red hair, it was cool, and it didn't bring insanity with it. Nowadays, I don't even want to meet any woman because I'm afraid. I really am, because I mean, I won't even, like, my type of girl has always been like, I'm into the gothic thing, so I like girls with long black hair and pure white skin and, you know, the black clothes and all that. But that has all changed now, and it's different. So I stay away from that. I gotta admit, I'm frightened of it. I'm one of those guys in that percentage that just doesn't want to meet them.
Well, and the crazy part too is, I mean, they can literally say whatever they want about you. And
That's
I know, you know, a few guys that have been in this position, and it's fucked them up. Their whole situation, man, their entire career.
What do they call that, Tom? The Me Too movement?
Yeah, me too.
Oh,
But
that's
I always love that because, you know, nowadays it's a hashtag, but it's actually a pound sign. So pound me too. That was always a favorite sign.
Pound me too. Yeah.
Yeah.
All the people that were like, believe all women too. As soon as someone came forward about Joe Biden, they're like, oh, fuck her. She's lying.
Here's my thing. If a woman can get away with saying whatever they want about a man and claim rape and do all this shit, and it goes to court and it goes to trial, and those motherfuckers are found to be liars, you need to give that fucking cunt the sentence. I'm sorry. Because that shit is dangerous, man. It's dangerous. They can say whatever they want.
Props to Johnny Depp for putting that out in the open, because he's like, yo, you think it's just that I'm abusive? Look at how he's like, look at this bitch. Like, look at what she shit on my bed.
She shit on her bed. Like, that's a no-no.
Yeah. But in the beginning, if you remember,
that's a big red flag.
His ass. Like, they canceled all kinds of contracts with Disney and everything else for his job.
Yeah, I know.
Just because she said it, there was no evidence.
What frustrates me about all that too is now with the Israel thing, they're using all, like, conservatives. A lot of conservatives are behind it. They're going like, "Oh, you're an anti-Semite if you say something bad about Israel, and we're going to cancel you now." And the same people who were like, "Yo, free speech" 5 minutes ago are like, "No, we need a safe space."
It works both ways.
Yeah,
the country's never been more divided than it is right now.
Right.
The thing is, just be consistent. Like, you know what I mean? Like, don't act like you're like you're for free speech if you're not for free speech when it comes to Israel. Like,
well, again, it left or right is cherry picking.
Yeah,
you know, on the flip side of that,
like I said earlier with the COVID stuff and the My Body, My Choice. Sorry, Mike.
Mike was talking about how BLM was co-opted as like an excuse to riot and everything like that by the left, and it never really was about black people.
Nope.
This stuff that's going on in Israel with Palestine, you've got the left is now on Palestine's side, arguing against Zionism. So for years, they were calling anyone right of the Overton window a Nazi, and now they're the same side on this key issue.
That's right, Doug. Yeah. They are what you would call the brown shirt fascists of Nazi Germany. That's
it was never about curtailing the rise of fascism. It was about giving it a different face.
I mean, have you seen the footage of these idiots? And I have no problem saying that. These idiots who stand in front of Jewish students at their colleges and universities, preventing them from, thank friggin' goodness I am not on that college, because if anybody blocked me, I would beat the fucking hell out of them.
Yeah,
I'd bite their ears off.
There was a big thing at UCLA, and like a lot of these are ops, because they're like, oh, someone said kill the Jews, and it was like a pro-Israel protester saying, hey, kill the Jews, anybody in? And they took that and went, oh, the protesters were saying kill the Jews. No, it was the counter fucking protesters. So these people that want to sell weapons and keep wars going in the Middle East, man, like someone's like, Soros is funding these protests. And I'm like, wait a minute. Isn't Soros for Biden? Like, why would he fund protests against Biden?
He's funding the protests.
He's outlived its usefulness.
Yeah, right. He's funding the protests for the anti-Israel people. It's been proven as well. If you notice, a lot of the people who
it hasn't. I read a whole piece on it, and they went, this is what they did. They went, it was a Politico article. They actually had to retract a bunch of it. but they went, there's an organization that Soros's foundation gave grants to way before October 7th even happens.
His sons, yeah.
And that organization gave money to a group called Jewish Voice for Peace that supported the protests. So that's why they were saying that. But it's Soros isn't funding the protests. He has a huge organization that gives money to causes, and they gave the money before October 7th even happened. So like the idea that he's funding the protests is not true.
I'd have to look into that because, with all due respect, I've heard just the opposite.
Yeah, and I know a lot of my friends said that, and so I was like, oh, I read my friend sent me this article, and I read the article, and I'm like, bro, did you read this? Because all these articles, and it makes me wonder like who's behind it, but like all these articles, a lot of them, the headline is like a lie, and then you read the article and it debunks its own headline. That Politico article too, the Politico one about Soros funding the protests that a lot of people were talking about, a lot of it was retracted.
Really? Okay, then maybe I stand corrected. I'm not sure. I have to look into it. But, you know, they're being funded by somebody. All their signs are the same. Their tents are the same. So they've got. And the funny thing is, you know, these people who get out there.
They're actually not, man. I've seen interviews with the protesters. This is why they want TikTok banned too, because there's a mainstream narrative that's controlled by corporations. Like, do you know what these protesters are actually protesting? Like, have you ever listened to any of them talk?
Are we talking about these anti-Israel people?
Yeah.
Yes, I have, and they have no fucking idea what they're talking about.
No, they actually do. If you watch the fucking cherry-picked footage where they get dumb people, they're protesting Columbia University, right? Hillary Clinton works at Columbia University.
Oh,
she's a teacher there.
Great.
Columbia University gives tons and tons of money to Raytheon, to fucking like all these big weapons manufacturers that are funding the wars in Israel. And these students are like, I don't want my tuition money going to fucking bombs. That's all they're, and so a lot of this fucking shit that's trying to make them look like the bad guys and shit. I keep asking people, I'm like, has there ever been a point in American history where the protesters were on the wrong side? Like,
what do you think?
I mean, Vietnam, Iraq. I mean,
oh, I agree. Yeah, you know what? Ultimately, you know what? I just want to talk about music.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry, but seriously, look, like, my thing is this: like, be skeptical of everything, because like
absolutely.
The January 6th shit.
I agree.
And like, I thought when the January 6th shit happened, I was like, oh yeah, those fucking terrible white supremacists. And then you start reading, you're like, dude, this is totally a fucking setup op.
Of course it was. Of course it was. But anyway.
Misfits. How did you end up playing with the Misfits?
All right. In a nutshell, I knew the guys for a long time, about 11 years actually, before I actually joined the band. I actually auditioned for the band prior to them getting Michael Graves. I auditioned for them in 1990, I believe it was, give or take. Might have been even 88 or 89. Anyhow, they were doing this other Christian metal band called Christ the Conqueror. Now, it wasn't exactly my style, but I did it because Jerry and Doyle were like heroes to me, so to speak.
They had a Christian metal band?
Christ the Conqueror. K-R-Y-S.
Was that Doyle and
Jerry?
Holy shit.
Yeah. It bombed terribly. In fact, they had Yngwie, Jeff Scott Soto, the lead singer for Yngwie Malmsteen.
I know who he is.
He sang for their album, and I think they paid something like, I think they paid him like $8,000 to do it. I was like, dude, I could have did it for $80. But they paid him to do it. I lost out to Jeff Scott Soto. They did it. He spent about $80,000. Kid you not. He spent about $80,000 on that album, and it flopped horribly, terribly.
$80,000 in the fucking 70s?
No. In the 80s.
Oh,
that's when I met him in '86.
Still,
yeah. Anywho, long story short, fast forward to 1995. I tried to audition again. It just didn't go through. It didn't work out. And then they ended up getting Michael Graves. They did their first show a night I went to go see Typo Negative at where the hell was that? I think I want to say the Hammerstein Ballroom, but I don't think that was it. Oh, shit, it's on the tip of my tongue. Anyhow, I went to see Typo Negative in New York on Halloween night, and they bring out Peter says we're going to take a break, and I'm going to bring out some friends of mine, and all of a sudden the Misfits come out. None of us expected it, and they did about 5 songs. Something happened from the very beginning where I'm getting off topic. Anyway, they did their first show. And then after that, in 1998, I happened to bump into Jerry and the drummer that they had, David, also known as Chud. They were doing signing autographs at a horror convention in New Jersey called Chiller Theater. And since I had known them, I walked up, I said hi. And while they were doing their thing, signing autographs, I talked to Jerry's brother, Kenny, who at the time was both the manager and the mascot. And we were talking, and at the time I had broken up my band, Myke Hideous, and I wasn't doing anything. And he said, so what are you doing now? And I'm like, nothing. He's like, why not? I said, well, I got nothing happening. He goes, well, we might be losing our singer, Michael Graves. I'm like, why? He's not showing up for rehearsal, and he's not doing this, and he's not doing that. And I'm like, well, that's because you hired the wrong guy. You should have hired me. I said, I was the perfect ghoul to be in the band, and you guys turned me down. I said, you should have picked me. About a month later, about 9 o'clock in the morning. Now, mind you, I didn't have a job. Actually, the job I did have, I used to work. I was a journalist for an arts and entertainment music newspaper in Jersey. So I used to sleep very late, is my point. So I get a call at like 9 o'clock, and I pick up the phone. I'm like, hello. And I hear on the other line, I hear this guy going, hey, brother Mike. I'm like, who the fuck is this? He's like, it's Jerry. I'm like, Jerry who? Jerry only. I'm like, oh, okay. What do you want? It's 9 o'clock in the morning. He's like, how'd you like to go to Brazil? How'd you like to go to South America? I said, okay. And it kind of just sort of happened from there. I went to audition. I went to audition for is that your cat?
Yeah.
That was adorable.
Screaming.
Mine might do that later too. So anyway, he asked me if I wanted to go to South America. I went up, I did an audition with everybody was there except Doyle. Doyle did not want to show up. He was just, I don't know, hard person to deal with. So I do the audition. While I'm auditioning, while I'm singing, Kenny, their brother, walks up to me and hands me this plank piece of wood, this pressed piece of, what do you call it? Like, what kind of wood is that? I don't know. It's like this pressed wood. It's like he gave me a 10 commandment. It said, I need your social security number, your real name, your mother's name, and your birthday. Like on a piece of wood like this big. It's like while I'm singing, And that was that. Then while I was on break, he let me hear the voicemail that Michael Graves left on the phone when he found out that I was auditioning. He's like, fuck you. If you guys are going to get Myke Hideous, fuck you, fuck the band, fuck Jerry, and fuck Myke Hideous. And that was pretty much how I got the gig. Then I went from being a South American tour to South American and a European tour. So that's how I did that.
That's a legendary band, man. I'm glad I asked that question.
Thank you.
So what gay bar did you meet Tom at? For the record, I only said that because
the Blue Oyster.
It was Lahore.
Michael said that. He's like, I was like, I go, how'd you meet Tom? And he's like, I think it was at a gay bar.
Hey Trey, I saw you walk in back there, buddy.
What's up, man?
How are you, pal?
Pretty good.
Good to see you.
I love to talk to Donald Trump.
Hey, check it out, Mike.
Oh wow, that came out nice, man.
Dude, they are gorgeous, man. Absolutely gorgeous.
What is that?
Beautiful. Wow.
This is the poster that's coming with the single.
That's sick.
So
Who
we'll
did
have
that
them all
art?
signed. We're working on that right now. So that way we can get these things out in the mail.
Who did the art?
This is actually Mike's painting. He painted this.
Oh, that's dope, man.
Yeah, so we took it and used it for the artwork.
Makes sense. You got the photography eye.
Actually, yeah, prior to that, I'm more of an artist. The photography I got from my father, but I was always an artist. And that painting is actually hanging on my wall. It's the biggest canvas painting I've ever done.
So you asked how we met. Mike was actually doing an art gallery exhibit at a gay bar.
The Blue Oyster.
It could be worse. It could be the Blue Waffle.
I went to a gay bar Friday, so I'm not even.
Did you?
I'm not even.
Did you have a good time?
It was wild.
Yeah.
I took one of my friends. Her buddy from Guatemala was in town, and he's gay. And I was like, "Oh, bro, there's this place up the street that I know about. Like, I'll take you there." I'd never been to it before. I just knew it was a gay bar. Holy shit, dude! It was like.
Dude, I've gone plenty of times, man.
I've been to one of myself a couple times. Actually.
I mean, West Hollywood has fucking fantastic. Like, honestly, West Hollywood is the best place to party in LA.
Is that where you are, Dustin?
I'm in Calabasas actually, but I'm in
California.
LA. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but this place was like another level of gay. Like they were like running gay porn on like TV screens and shit. Like I was like, oh shit. Like I'm
God damn.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I got to get out of here before these guys see the bulge in my pants.
That's funny.
So just so you know, Tom, I've been looking into trying to set up a show. But it's an uphill battle. If not this summer, maybe next summer. But because it's already fucking May. I realized that the other day. I'm like, holy.
Yeah, it's like, man, it'd be great to be able to push that up to like July or something. So
what are you in a band too, Dustin?
I play, yeah. Like I've been working on some stuff with my son that we're probably gonna release pretty soon. It's more like heavier, like almost like early Pantera Hatebreed type vibe. But I want to do a Brutal Planet show and like get like with a bunch of bands like that. Some of the bands that we have on the show and stuff like October Noir, Sister Kill Cycle, maybe some others. But
Siglos is one to do it.
Siglos. There's a couple other killer bands that we just saw Trashy Annie and Chloe Trujillo's band the other night. And the opening band for them was actually really killer. So anyway, I think there's like, I used to play in a band in the early 2000s in LA. And like back then, like the Troubadour had like a free show every Monday that local bands could play, or like, the Whiskey's always been, you have to sell tickets. But I guess just to let you know where I'm at with this, I'm kind of like looking around at venues and talking to people. I actually know a guy who does booking at a bar called Gold Diggers in LA. That's like a pretty poppin' spot in Hollywood. And a lot of indie bands and shit play there. So give me some time. It's going to happen. Maybe not this year, but
we'll make it happen this year.
I mean, even
if
it happens
grab the right ball
sack. Yeah.
Get it there.
See, there's other places too. Like out here by me, there's a place called the Canyon Club that a lot of like Yngwie Malmsteen played there. Bad Religion played there. Sometimes they have comedians. But it's like a cool little venue. It's just not it's like kind of on the outskirts, so there's a bunch of places. It'll come together is basically what I'm saying. It's just
we'll make it happen yet. We'll talk to the right people. We'll get Raquel on it. She's usually good at that stuff.
Oh yeah, she'll definitely be an asset when it comes to that. But what do you guys have planned for the rest of the year?
Well, we've got Mississippi coming up in July. That'll be when we get back out, and then we're headed to Phoenix, Arizona, back to New York.
Where in New York?
Long Island, and
again,
yeah. And then I think we're gonna try and load up with dingbats as well.
You should.
Yeah,
I told you. Tell that guy I know you.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm waiting on the Long Island date so I can schedule around it and go from there. But then we're headed back to Central Florida, Tampa, Orlando. That'll be in August. So
Let's go to the comments. Oh wow, man! Hello from South Africa.
Damn.
Oh, here's
Mike, do you know him? You were there.
It depends. Is that an elephant?
You got Tyler.
Tyler.
Yeah, he was working late, so he wasn't able to make it.
I like that picture.
We got Raquel in the mix too.
Hello.
Yeah, there she is. See, she can get it going.
Big bets. Yeah, it's gonna happen. I mean, I think for me too, I want to make it like a regular thing. I would love to do like an annual Brutal Planet, like festival or some shit where it's like,
Absolutely.
hey, these are fucking bands that you need to hear, and let's fucking do it, you know? Because we have the vehicle for promotion. You know, now our audience is growing and shit, and so time will tell. It'll come together. Mike, what about you? What do you got planned for the rest of the year? What kind of shit are you working on, man?
Nothing. I'm retired, Dustin. I quit music back in 2008 because doing my own thing and not having a label or management to back me up, I couldn't do it anymore. I just can't. I'm an old man now, you know, like
You look good, man.
Thanks, buddy. I appreciate that. But I
Look
can't
younger
do
than
it.
I do.
I can't do it myself anymore. I couldn't do it myself for even after the whole Misfits thing. I had some label interest, but nothing took. And you know, here's a sad thing. The last album I did was called The Time Has Come. I don't know if you were aware of this or not, but I did a film called Living the American Nightmare. And it was basically a documentary based on a book that I wrote called King of an Empire to the Shoes of a Misfit. When we were doing that film, we interviewed Peter Steele. Now, I had known Peter for many years prior to that. We had lost touch for a while because he was really messed up on drugs. When we went to do the interview with him, he was living in Scranton, Pennsylvania, not far from where I live now. And when he was living out there, we drove out with the camera crew. We did a filmed interview, which would turn out to be the very last interview he ever did, because shortly after that, he died.
Passed away.
Here's the point. While we were there after the interview, Peter said to me, "So, Mike, what are you doing now?" And I said, "Nothing." I said, "I'm done. I retire." Now, mind you, this was 2009. When did he die? April 6th?
That was the year, I'm pretty sure.
April 14th.
You're right. Yeah, I got his mass card right here. So I think, if I'm not correct, I think we did his interview in late May. The point of the March, April. It might have been late March because he died on the 14th of April. So here's the point. While I was there, he asked me what I was doing. I told him I'm retiring. I'm done. This is my last album. I had a deal with an independent record label at the time. I was fulfilling my contract and I was done. He said to me, "You want any help with that?" I said, "Yeah. What do you want to do?" He goes, "How about I produce it?" He goes, "I can help you get on a major label." I said, "Yeah." Now, prior to that day, he had asked me 3 times prior to go on tour with Typo Negative. He wanted my band, Myke Hideous, to open for Typo Negative 3 times. And 3 times I couldn't do it because I had musicians that were dropping out. In one case, the first time he asked me was when he came to one of my shows. And after the show, he came down in the dressing room. He said, "I want you to go on tour with Typo Negative." I'm like, "Oh man," we were in the process of moving. Like we were getting kicked out of the house that we were living in. The whole band lived there and we were moving. So I couldn't even do that. He asked me again. Then he tried to get me a record label. We did a showcase for Roadrunner Records with Monty Connor, the guy who signed Slipknot. Nothing. They turned us down. Anyway, so all these times he tried to help me. Here we are at his apartment doing the interview. He asks me if I want him to produce it. I say yes. He says, "Send me the stuff. I'll start doing pre-production." Okay. I send him some of the recordings we had completed, sheets of lyrics and bits and pieces and notes and stuff like that. Now I know his girlfriend, Pam, well, and I know this because she told me this is what happened. The day he died, he was working on doing pre-production of my last album.
Oh shit, man.
And it's almost as if fate really never wanted us to work together, because of all the times he tried to help me, I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it.
Never came through.
It never came through. He was with me when I got kicked out of the Misfits. He was on my side. He's like, when I told him that they made me cut my hair. Well, they didn't make me cut my hair. I did it because they suggested it would be a good idea. And my hair used to be down in my ass. And he said to me, "They what? They made you cut your hair? You should fucking sue them," he says. But he was such a good man. He always tried to help not only me, but other independent bands as well. Because I think he knows what it was like when Motley Crue took them under his wing, under their wing, so to speak, and gave them the opportunity to open up for Motley Crue. He knew what it was to be a guy. He was a guy. He worked for sanitation in New York and Brooklyn, I think it was. And
dude,
he was a down to earth person, and that's what I loved about Peter. He always tried to help me. He said to me, "If you ever get a contract, you bring it to me first, because I don't want you getting screwed like Roadrunner screwed me." And that's sort of what happened. Anyway, yeah. So that was my last album. And I'm done. I'm done. The only reason I did this with Tom and the guys is because, first and foremost, because Tom and I worked together with the other band, and I really, really like the song.
It's a great song.
Thank you.
You guys should do an EP or something, spin-off project.
Mike, that's on you, man. You're the one saying you quit.
Yeah, well, we'll see. Who knows? I mean, I can sing. Provided I have some time to warm up my vocals. Since I don't do it anymore, I'm very conscious about that. So, but I was grateful when Tom came to me and said, "Hey, we're gonna do this song. We want you to be a part of it," so on and so forth. And it is what it is. And what happened with it is, we got this great song and a great video, and
it works
CD.
great.
Yeah.
I got to give you props for the Evil Dead 2 poster too. That's like one of my all-time favorite movies.
That's an original, my friend.
That's so dope.
And David Bowie on that side.
Yeah, my son.
Kiss. It is Kiss over there.
Yeah, the Evil Dead 2 though. That's like those who know.
Good time.
Dead by Dawn.
I'll swallow your soul. I'll swallow your soul.
That's like my favorite.
That's what I tell all the guys at the gay bar.
I'll swallow your soul.
He used the joke like they had the I just caught that the guys at the gay bar and all falling.
It took him a minute.
I will say I get service at the bar a lot faster when I go to a gay bar. Like they're like, "Hey, what do you want?"
Hey, baby.
Yeah.
No, but that movie they have like for Evil Dead 2, we always joke they have the industrial blood and fog kit. It's like someone gets their finger pricked and just sprays like gallons and gallons.
Interesting enough, going back to when I was talking about working on that movie set, the camera operator for that film was Tom from the Evil Dead movies, the first two Evil Dead movies.
Oh wow!
One of the
Yeah, it was
original
really
creators.
cool.
One of the creators or one of the film
actor.
guys?
No, he was a cameraman. He was a camera operator. So yeah, he was telling me like all the kind of tricks they would use back in that day when they were filming it to get a lot of the scenes that they were working with. Just really interesting stories, man. It was really cool.
Man, I don't know if I gave you enough props for the Halo Hung from Horns video either. I thought that was great, man. Like,
thank you, man.
It's so funny too.
Well, and that's
hilarious.
Yeah, I remember there was some guys did like some review thing, and they were like, "Oh, we don't know what's going on here."
I love it because you guys don't have
you
guys have a sense of humor, and it's funny.
Yeah, but it was all about like not taking yourself seriously, you know.
Yeah.
They were complaining. They were like, "Oh, the production on the puke scene just looks wretched. Why couldn't they just?" It was supposed to.
Yeah, it's like Evil Dead.
It was supposed to look cheesy as fuck.
If you're taking us seriously, you're making a mistake.
yeah, it's
I love it, man. Well, we've been on for an hour, guys. Thanks for coming on. The song is great. I'll play it again on the way out, and come back through again, man. You know,
Yeah.
I just call you friend of the show now, Tom.
hey, I'm here, man.
Tell them where to get it, Tom.
Yeah. What your soul sucked or?
That too.
Oh yeah,
the
yeah.
I know a
CD
place in North Hollywood.
Yeah. So look, and I'll go ahead and make an announcement now. We are running with some delays on the physical CD copies because we have to get all of these signed. So we're working on that. Mike's got to get them and do the same. So maybe in a couple of weeks, we should be ready to start mailing them all out for those who are pre-ordered. But you can get it right now at octobernoir.com. And it comes with this 11x7 poster. Very beautiful
17.
poster. The 17, yeah. 7. Did I say 7?
Yeah, 11x7.
Oh, yeah, 11x17.
Someone named Tyler Fleming says, "What's up, losers?"
Oh,
That's the drummer.
I know, I'm joking. I know who Tyler is.
Oh, yeah. Well, he's a nobody right now because he's enjoying the shit, fucker.
Why aren't
But,
you here, Tyler? Why aren't you here with the rest of the losers?
That's right.
Talking about
But yeah,
gay
you
bars
can-
and glory holes.
We're done.
All right, guys.
thank you. Good night.
Thank you so much. I'm gonna play the video as we close the stream out. Everybody follow October Noir on social media. Myke Hideous. Listen to the song The Ages. Go stream it. Play it on YouTube, and we'll play it again on the way out.
Yeah, MykeHideous.com.
MykeHideous.com. Mike, thanks again, man. Legendary,
pleasure.
fucking former member of the Misfits. Really enjoyed talking to you, man. Same for you. Please hit me up if you ever want to come back through and talk again.
Thank you. Yeah.
And yeah, see, Tyler didn't say he didn't want to do a fifth screen. So I want to show, actually, before we go, I want to show you guys this. We've had this like running joke about Pantera during the glam years. I don't know if you can see this or not, but this is like I have to play this every episode. It's a clip from Pantera's early work called Metal Magic. I'm just gonna play like a couple seconds here. Check this out.
Right.
Was that Phil's vocals?
No, it's not Phil, actually.
Okay.
That's what when we get in the Pantera debate, I'm like, well, to be fair, even though Diamond Vinny are gone, like they really weren't Pantera until Phil came in.
Yeah.
Because they have the one glam album, but
I
anyway.
did a show with them in I think it was Amsterdam.
Yeah?
Yeah.
When Dime was alive?
Yeah. I was afraid of those guys. It was scary.
I've heard mixed things. I've heard like it must have been earlier in their career because later on everyone's like, yeah, Pantera's the best. They got me super drunk and high.
Mm.
Anyway, this is our outro before we cut out. All right, that's enough. All right, guys.
Who was that?
Skid Row.
Oh, great.
Old
Bach.
school.
From my state.
Yeah. Jersey. A lot of
Yeah.
great shit from Jersey, man.
Mm.
A lot of good
Except
stuff.
I was never into that metal stuff. I was never really into that.
Yeah. I mean, it has its place. I grew up. I listened to it when I was in like 4th grade, and then but now I appreciate it for the nostalgia. You know.
There you go.
Anyway, thank you guys. We're gonna play the video again on the way out.
All right, guys.
Follow
Thank
these
you.
guys on social media, and we'll see y'all soon. Keep it brutal.
Good night, guys. See you later.
Peace out.
fade.